Well, guys, we are back for another episode of the Liberal Asshole Show, episode 142. And what are today's topics?
US election results. Conservatives rage like babies at Zohran Mamdani. Lamel Zohran bans HASAN PIKER. Chunk Yogurt makes dumb Karen rage. 8 Democratic senators commit treason. And GOP civil war get hotter.
Oh boy, we got a lot of topics to cover today, even if it's only 6. So what do we start off with first?
Let's start with the US election results, because these are epic.
Half of them involved the election results. So, of course, last week it wasn't the midterms, but there still was elections, of course, every year in America in November and such. Now, there was a few congressional elections. However, nothing changed, unfortunately. No gains whatsoever for Democrats there. However, everything else, though, was absolutely based. Let's see, keeping New Jersey governor, getting back the governorship of Virginia, which is based, but the most based and the most funniest thing of all was base Zohran becoming the new mayor of New York City next January. Yeah. Let's fucking go! And also,
this is epic.
Also, thank you for splitting the boat, Sex Pest Cuomo and Eastern Europe General Saliva, or whatever the fuck your name is.
Not that it would have mattered, because Mamdani got over 50%.
Yep, Mamdani would still win if it was just one person, which makes it even more funnier. And conservatives have had a complete meltdown about Zohran, which we'll cover in a little bit. But, oh man, I told you, we all warned you that this was the result that was going to happen when Trump won last time. And if you think this recent elections was bad, just wait till next year. Oh boy, it is going to be a bloodbath, and we're going to enjoy seeing it.
You can tell that Trump will be doing everything he can to try to either make it impossible for Democrats and minorities to vote, or just flat out cancel the midterms.
And he will see the exact results again, and he'll rage like a baby like he's been doing the entire time, especially against Zohran, because he's an Islamophobe too. So yeah. This was all you conservatives' fault, and this was all Trump's fault, too. Like we told you, he sucks ass, and he'll always suck ass! He's evil, and he's horrible. Get that for your fucking head. Do you understand me, people? Fucking tired of this crap. But hey, it was so satisfying watching you all lose and rage like Karen so much. In fact, let me see where's the video of Mike's. Here we go. Let's watch you all for the next few minutes rage and mauled about the election results. Hey, thank you for losing big time. Much appreciated.
Yes.
All your fault.
Tonight you
Base Zohran.
A mandate for change. A mandate for a new kind of politics.
Hey, just wait till the next video, people, when conservatives become even super duper more Islamophobic over him.
And a mandate for a government that delivers exactly that. On January 1st,
Can't come fast enough.
Sworn in as the mayor of New York City.
Can't wait. Base Zohran. It sucks you can't be president. It sucks you can't be president, though. That's very unfortunate.
Well, I have some breaking news, and it's good news. Really, really good news. Surprising
Very satisfying
news, as a matter of fact. So first and foremost, let's not bury the lead.
May I remind you all, baby Karen Blue Eyes White Dragon Hillbilly had a violent meltdown on election night at me for no reason.
Because of course he did.
He blamed
because he's a MAGA retard.
Blamed me that I made his life miserable on election night somehow. By, just working on my manga, playing video games and such. Yeah, that's all my fault, though. You all know that.
Zohran Mamdani has...
and also, of course, selling my original Switch that night, too. So nice to get $170 just like that.
defeated Andrew Cuomo. Again, with more than 50%
of
majority
than he ever does in a couple weeks.
The vote. And the meltdowns that we're already seeing online are absolutely glorious. Now, I assumed he would win.
I'll probably do that with my Switch.
Oh, and also to make you rage and conservatives even more mad, I might have gotten myself a promotion recently on my 2-month anniversary at work. So, I'm more productive than you. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You're all failures.
I was a little bit worried because you never want to count your chickens before they hatch, right? But he pulled it off.
Amazing at work,
And
you're all
he put
failures.
the final nail in the coffin of Andrew Cuomo's career. Will he go away? Probably not. I think it's going to take a little bit more for him to fuck off. I think he's going to pivot to a president.
Can you all just arrest that sex pest already, since he's such a pervert? Like,
Potential
come
run
on.
soon. Nonetheless,
The entire scene, Cuomo's
Zohran Mamdani
disgusting
is
ass.
going to be the next mayor of New York City. And
Yay,
this is
January 1st can't come fast
monumental
enough.
for a number of reasons.
Yep.
And if he can deliver and actually accomplish even a fraction of the things that he promised, I mean, this is going to be significant for the leftist movement, significant for Democrats even, who are going to want to jump on that bandwagon. And if
CIA
Democrats...
agent Jimmy Dore's response.
Oh, what did he say now?
He was doing he did a video calling Zohran Mamdani a globalist.
Oh, of course. sounds
Because
like
he
Nick
was
Cruz.
friends with rando globalist billionaire guy.
Of
And a
course.
billionaire dude, apparently.
Of course,
and that
sounds
makes
like
him
Nick Cruz.
that makes him a billionaire Jew. Because remember, he's a CIA agent, and he'd be promoting the anti-Semitism angle.
Apparently he wants to become Nick Cruz now. So yeah.
Yep.
Fuck off, Jimmy Dore.
play their cards right here and they follow Mamdani's lead, then, I mean, they could be as successful as they were during the FDR era, where they had to put in term limits for presidents because FDR
Remember when we had a base president that got us not just through the Great Depression, but won World War II?
kept winning elections, and
Yeah.
Democrats had control of Congress for decades. Like, they held on to the House for 60 years. Sam Cedar was talking about this during his live stream of the election. So Mamdani set the blueprint. Now it's incumbent on other Democrats to follow it to make sure that Democrats are winning not just because they're not Republicans, but because people are motivated to support the candidate that they're voting for. And that's really the key here, because if you look at exit polls, people were voting for Mamdani, whereas with Andrew Cuomo, people weren't necessarily voting for Cuomo, they were voting...
I would also view voting for Mamdani as to keep out Cuomo. Who wants that sex pest as mayor, for God's sake? Do you all hate women
not.
somehow? Do you all hate women? Because I sure don't, and I don't want them to be sexually harassed by that fucking pervert.
for him because they didn't like
Sexually
Mamdani.
harasses all
And
women
I think that Democrats have to
population as well.
I'm pretty sure
I look at his ugly mug and I feel sexually harassed.
I think he thinks he's in some rom-com ecchi anime all time.
understand that having a candidate that you vote for as opposed to somebody that you just hold your nose and begrudgingly vote for because you don't like who they're running against, lesser two evils, that is not going to get people mobilized. So you got to get them fucking excited, and that's what Zohran did. So TLDR, do that, Democrats. Make big promises and then fight for them. Now, here's another element to election
a lot
night
of Democrats don't want to do that because they're cowards and treasonous.
that I completely did not expect. Democrats clapped Republican cheeks. I mean, they swept in elections across the country on every single issue. They fucking cleaned house. And this
satisfying.
is shocking to me because
Yay.
I wasn't necessarily sure, given some of the Democrats that were running, that we would see these results. But goddamn, this really speaks to how pissed off people are at Donald Trump. People are mobile.
And no one likes conservatives, so eat fucking shit.
And they don't like what they're seeing.
You're all mad and you're no fun, so cope, rage, and mauled.
But let's get to some specifics. When it comes to California's Prop 50, which would allow the state to gerrymander 5 seats away from Republicans, which was a response to the gerrymandering effort in Texas, that passed almost immediately. It was clear as soon as polls...
And yep, that was all your fault, Texas Republicans. You shouldn't have tried to gerrymander. So, fight fire with fire. So get fucked.
closed, that it was a done deal. When it comes to Pennsylvania, they voted to retain all 3 Democratic state Supreme Court justices, which will maintain the Democratic Party's 5-2 majority. In New Jersey's
feels
gubernatorial race, Democrat Mikey Sherrill defeated Republican Jack Shittarelli. In other words,
Feels
Shittarelli
good
ate
again.
shit. In Virginia's gubernatorial race, Democrat Abigail Spanberger defeated
doesn't
Winsome
feel
Earl
good to
Sears,
see
the
Republicans
Republican.
lose, people.
And
I
in
sure love
Virginia's
every
lieutenant
moment of
governor
it.
race, Democrat Gazella Hazmi defeated Republican John Reed. In Virginia's attorney general race, Democrat Jay Jones defeated Jason Mayorkas. And Jay Jones has Republicans almost as frustrated and pissed off as they are about Mamdani's victory, because Jay Jones was embroiled in controversy because there were text messages that leaked where he was advocating for political violence against his political opponents. And yet voters were like, let's vote for him anyway.
I don't think I would if I was in Virginia's election for Attorney General. I don't think I would. But I wouldn't vote for the Republican, though. I probably wouldn't vote whatever. That's just not cool, dude.
So it really speaks to the political
We are
climate
not
and
the,
just
we
how
are not
pissed
the
off
right
Democratic Party
wing,
voters
okay?
are. We'll talk
And we're
about
also
that
not black
in a
nationalists
different video, because
or,
I'm probably going to have
taint or Stalinists.
Save the violence for Trumpsters and conservatives.
have to do a GOP Cope compilation in the aftermath of this election, because the meltdowns and the tears, there's just too much for me to talk about in this election results video. But I can't not talk about all of that, of course, because I love to,
we'll see the reaction to
dance on their
Mamdani's
political
win.
graves,
It'll be
so to
funny in a
speak.
moment.
So we'll cover that in a different video, but nonetheless, they are pissed off at this victory from Jay Jones. On top of that, at the
Stay
time
mad.
that I record this video, Democrats in the Virginia State House have flipped a total of 13 seats. You heard that right. 13 seats. And nearly every single
Republicans got
county
taken out
in the
in
state
Virginia.
shifted
Let's
blue.
go.
We're talking about a purple state here. And the fact that there was
awesome.
such a swing for this uninspiring Democrat Abigail Spanberger really, really says a lot about how much people fucking hate Donald Trump and the Republican Party.
Republicans, 'cause
But
no one likes
moreover,
them,
in Georgia,
ever. You're
Peter
never
Hubbard
liked
and
them,
Alicia
ever. You're
Johnson
always
both
hated.
defeated Republicans
stay
in
mad.
public service commissioner races, making them the first
Either be progressive or fuck off.
candidates to win state level races in
Exactly.
Georgia in 20 years. Now, we did get some bad news in the Minneapolis mayor race between socialist Omar Fateh and Jacob Frey. Unfortunately, Omar Fateh came up short and he lost to the centrist Democrat Jacob Frey in the race.
Unfortunate.
That to me is definitely unfortunate. It would have been the cherry on top, but I think that Omar Fateh is very talented, much like Mamdani, and he's going to be around. So perhaps he runs again, maybe he runs for Congress, but that is political talent that I think is not going to go to waste. Now, with that being said, the two Democrats, the main ones who won the gubernatorial races, these were very closely watched races. This is a bit of a temperature check on Donald Trump and the Republican Party, and it's a referendum, you could say, on Donald Trump. And this demonstrates that people in
That's
these
you get
states
for fucking up green
are
card.
not happy with what they're seeing from the White House. But on top of
'Cause
that,
you suck
you have
ass,
to look at these specific
orangutan.
types of Democrats that won, right? Abigail Spanberger, Mikey Sherrill. These are very milquetoast, centrist Democrats who aren't proposing radical change. In fact, they were pretty upfront about the fact that they're going to govern from the position of the center. And Republicans, they kind of just tried to make these races about trans issues, in particular, the Abigail Spanberger race. But they won because they're not Republicans. And again, to go back to what I said at the beginning of this video, you want to give voters more, right? You want people to vote not just because they hate the other party. You want them to be inspired to vote for something. So even though these electoral victories are monumental because it speaks to how pissed off people are at the Republican Party,
Like I said,
I don't want
you
to
guys
overstate
you Republican dipshits
the-
were always hated. So change and drop your beliefs instantly.
success of Democrats themselves, because the party's brand still is in the toilet. They're still viewed by voters as out of touch. So I view this
Out of
as
touch with
more of an
progressives.
anti-Republican election more so than a pro-Democrat election. Nonetheless, I think that centrist Democrats, the Hakeem Jeffries, the Chuck Schumers, the pundits of the world are going to try to say, well, you know what, even though Mamdani won, that's not the blueprint for the party. Abigail Spanberger is creating this blueprint in a purple state
Nope,
with
she's
her
not. So
centrist
go.
run. And I think they're going to try to do that. But you have to understand that, again, at the end of the day, politics is about getting your base out to vote. Right now, the Democratic Party's base is motivated because they hate Republicans. But 4 years down the line, 8 years down the line, assuming that we have free and fair elections, you don't want them to grow disillusioned again increasingly. You want to keep these people mobilized and make sure...
Which means you have progressives running, not no corporate neoliberal Dems. None of that shit, ever.
They are activated always. And in order to do that, you actually have to deliver materially for them. So if Abigail Spanberger and Mikey Sherrill want to really shore up their success here, they have to make sure that they do that for their constituents. And that means they've got to be bold, right? But again, my fear is that Democrats are going to try to use this as a justification for centrism and proof, hey, Abigail Spanberger didn't run a Mamdani type campaigns, and look at where she is. And Majority Report was talking about this a little bit as well, and I think it's a valid concern that we all on the left should have. Having said that, though, putting that aside, and any gripes that I have with the Democratic Party, this is still a really, really good night because it signifies a vibe shift, a substantial vibe shift, to where these days where Trump is controlling the culture and it seems like he's just like inevitable and everybody has to acquiesce and succumb to fascism. It's already over. Like, the honeymoon phase is already over, and we're not even a year into his presidency. So my hope is that Democrats, they take this momentum.
Woke channels are dying, and all the ones that just shit on everything are dying off. Even CinemaSins has plunged in viewership.
And they don't just bank on winning elections because they're not Republicans, and they try to funnel all of this energy into a real populist movement so they can create a majority coalition to win elections and permanently defeat fascism. It means they're going to have to shirk the donors and run unapologetically on Medicare for all, on a living wage, on affordability, with specific policy solutions regarding affordability. There needs to be this concerted effort to end our complicity with genocide and wars now that Donald Trump is proving that he's a neocon, much like
which
his
we all warned you he would too.
So I hope that something constructive can come out of this.
Because Trump is always a liar.
Even if that doesn't happen, just like the fact that Republicans got their clock cleaned is at least temporarily reason to celebrate, because goddamn.
Remember, next year, people, it's going to be an even bigger bloodbath, and I'm going to enjoy every moment of it.
Damn, does it feel good to know that America...
And this time in 2026, I'll actually be involved in that regard to make sure Dems win. So stay mad. Oh, it feels so good to be in a deep blue state where you Republicans can never do anything to harm me.
Americans are seeing what's happening, and they're reacting in the same way that we're all reacting. They have enough common sense to realize, oh, what's happening is bad. Maybe not because, they see how Trump is destroying the Constitution and taking away our civil rights and civil liberties, but because he's been a disaster on the economy and inflation is through the roof and the cost of living is astronomical. So I'm glad that they see reality, and this result, in my opinion, is an obvious reflection of that reality. And I just hope that it isn't all for nothing. I hope Democrats use this opportunity to run with the ball. Will they do that? Probably not.
Which many of them
I
won't.
can dream, right? Either way,
they're paid to lose, and they're paid to be corporate fascists.
And that's why, just like with Republicans, they also need to be kicked out. So yeah, what do you guys say about the election results recently? They was exactly how I was expected, and I enjoyed every moment of it. And remember, next year, people, oh boy, remember, the ultimate goal, just get Democrats 67 seats in the Senate, and then January 3rd, first day, we can finally impeach Trump once and for all, and this time successful. Ain't that beautiful, people? Imagine getting impeached once and for all and we never have to see him again. Wouldn't that be awesome or what?
The full progressive takeover. Yep. Impeach the entire Republican Party and impeach all corporate Democrats.
Yep, and then everything will be so much better. Alright, so now, on to the next topic, as we continue, and still continue, to see them rage and maul about Zohran winning. They are having as big of a meltdown as they had when Obama was around. Oh, remember those days? I sure do. I wonder why they're so mad at him. Couldn't be because he's not white and a Muslim. I think that might actually be the reason why. Alright, so now let's go. Let's go watch them rage.
Mamdani.
All right, guys, so I got to show you, there was a lot of establishment coping and seething over Zohran Mamdani's victory. And, it is a beautiful
L plus ratio.
I wish I had my conservative tears cup. Maybe I should get that for next year. Since unlike you dipshits, I'm working now, so I could buy one if I want.
Let me see. So homosexuals are coping.
Along with, of course,
Awesome.
putting all my money towards making my Blossom in Summer, which you conservative dipshits always violently rage over, because I can Bunko make you so mad.
Seething. MAGA is coping and seething. Van Jones over on CNN, he's coping and seething. OD.
Yeah, Bunko would, and Archer would beat him to death with her Bible.
I'm being honest with you, so let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's first start with this compilation. Shout out to Jordan Yule, who put this together.
Imagine being so offended by a progressive Christian fundamentalist and an American love and obsessed Japanese character.
Congratulations to Zohran Mamdani.
Sex pest
He still
Cuomo.
doesn't know how to say his name. It's Mamdani. Mamdani. It's not that hard. I don't know.
Kyle,
there's so many people
we're
who just
white
can't
and we're
say his
American.
name. It's very
Foreign
weird
names
to me. I
are
get it,
hard
like,
for us, remember?
Messing it up every now and
Except
then,
if they're
but,
Japanese.
he never gets it.
Congratulations to Zohran Mamdani.
Stay mad.
I can't imagine how disappointed I am. This is
Oh, God, Rudy
I
Giuliani.
honestly feel bad. I have friends of mine in
Yes,
New York.
Rudy
My phone
Giuliani.
Oh, hello, Hannity.
is blowing up. They are officially depressed and scared.
And this
Stay
was
mad.
also
Scared of Mondami. How are you scared of Mondami? What a loser are you?
hostile takeover.
A
by the
loser of
Democratic
losers.
Socialists
We
of
know
America.
this.
Let's fucking go. Let's go.
This is a crazy situation. It's a very, very sad night.
Made him the
It's a beautiful night. What are you talking about, loser?
The rapping video.
The cool kid.
Older people. This isn't just Gen Z or
I
Gen
agree.
X.
I
There are
agree with you. 100%.
boomers and that kind of thing. Who
Yeah, I see this as a disaster for New York City. And
no, it's nothing but base things, so stay mad.
on Mamdani. All right. Well, I want
I
to
just replied, okay, boomer.
a panel. They'll cheer me up. They'll cheer all of us up.
Congratulations.
Older white people just can't fucking say Mamdani. All right, this one is fun. This is fun. Listen to Hannity at the beginning of this clip.
Joining me now from the free state of Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis.
The free state of Florida.
Okay, I'm
New York City is more free than Florida, so stay fucking mad,
Yep.
cunts.
Florida is a shithole.
literally in tears. I'm having a hard time keeping it straight.
I know you're all just jealous that Maryland's the best state, but don't be mad at us. Learn to be good like us.
Face.
Bro.
Yes. Yes. Inject this shit right in my veins, homie. Right into my veins. Let's go. I love this.
Only for this reason. I have really funny friends, and my funny friends are sending me.
He literally is almost crying. Jesus Christ.
One is a meme.
How sad are you
of
for
the
something
Statue of
really good
Liberty,
happening?
You know, spitting
Dude,
down.
I didn't even act like this when Trump won the last 2 times. I ain't crying, moan like a baby. You guys sure are, though.
Smoking a cigarette. F it. I'm going to move to Florida. The other one.
Imagine
has
moving
a picture
to
of Mamdani,
shithole Florida
and
when
it
there's so many
says,
other places like good old
Realtor of the
Maryland.
Year in the state of Florida. It's cracking me up.
I love
Far-right
that
fascist pieces of shit, so...
Bye.
They think
And
Florida
you're
is
just fucking,
awesome.
First of all of Sean Hannity's friends
If it
are
wasn't
worth like
for all the
minimum
Muslims, they'd be
10
moving to
million.
Saudi Arabia.
Probably
Or maybe y'all should move to Russia and China if you want what your ideology represents.
more. Probably more. I'm being very conservative with that figure.
Because we know how much you all
for all
love
the
Pootler
there was
and Pooh
some
Bear
scare
G.
fake survey that came out the other day. A million New Yorkers say they'll leave New York if Zohran gets elected.
No,
Bye.
you won't, and you'll deal with it.
Don't let the fucking door hit you on the way out, bitch. The idea that like
Kyle, no. Tell them that they're not going to leave because they'll lose money if they do. So, deal with it. New York's too big of a market, so you're going to stay and deal with Mondami. So, cope.
that's gonna happen. It's not. But even if it did, there would be other people, other entrepreneurs who come in to take their place. You know, the funny thing is, right now, we already have an exodus from New York problem. You know who it is? Working class people who can't fucking afford to live there anymore because it's too fucking expensive.
And it's all
That's
your
who
fault.
I really don't want leaving New York. Is the working class, the backbone of the city. But no, they flip it like, God forbid, 17 fucking billionaire assholes want to leave. I don't give a fuck.
And you're
Piss
not going
off.
to leave, and
We
I'm going to
don't
make
need
fun of you forever
And like
for
I
it,
said,
too.
somebody else will come in and take your place. Oh my God. Make it more affordable for the working class. But look at these guys. What a joke. What a sick joke. All right, so here's Van Jones, and he's the worst, bro. Van Jones Well, I'll save this until after the clip, but like...
Oh, and now we're probably going to get to the part of it where now the establishment Democrats are raging about because they suck ass too.
Yeah.
So let's watch them rage.
Of course, because they're MAGA, so of course they're...
So now we can laugh at those retards for once, and they deserve it because we need to kick them out along with the Republicans.
Like, I'll explain to you why he's objectively the worst on this shit.
But I think he missed an opportunity. I think the Mamdani that we saw in the campaign trail, who was a lot more calm, who was a lot
He always
warmer,
was calm, you fucking moron.
Who was a lot more embracing, was not present in that speech. And I think that Mamdani is the one you need to hear from tonight. There are a lot of people trying to figure out, can I get on this train with him or not?
What the fuck are you talking about? Of course you get on with him, he's base!
Is he going to be more of a class warrior, even in office? I think he missed
That would be base if he was a class warrior.
We need a class warrior. Have you noticed we're in a fucking Gilded Age Van Jones, you pampered little prick?
No, Kyle.
What we need is a class warrior. Oh my God.
Tonight to open up and bring more people into the tent. I think his tone was sharp.
He needs to bring more people into the tent, even though he got 52% of the vote, and the closest competitor, Cuomo, got 30% of the vote. Why are we not talking about this like we talk about Republicans like they win by that margin? It's a devastating mandate. It's a mandate to do whatever he wants about anything ever.
Oh yeah, remember when Trump got less than 50% of the vote last time? And people act like mandate is always, but now when someone actually has over 50% of the vote, they shut up about it? Shows that you're all a bunch of partisan hacks.
Suddenly, when a Democrat wins by double fucking digits, they go, well, gosh golly, I
Corporate
don't know, he only
Democrats
won by
MAGA,
22
so-
fucking points. He needs to try to expand the tent. Expand the tent to who?
How about
we need to keep
how
all
about
of
you
you
get out?
out of the tent.
How about you get out? How about that one?
How about you people get out and join the treasonous Republicans?
Like you or not.
He was using the microphone in a way that he was almost yelling. And that's not the Mamdani that we've seen on TikTok and the great interviews and stuff like that. So
shut
I felt like
up,
it was a little
Van
bit
Jones,
of
you
a
whiny
character switch
baby.
here, where the warm, open, embracing guy that's close to working people.
He was embracing
not
me.
on
I don't know
stage
what
tonight.
you're
There was
seeing,
some-
and I
Oh
saw
my
that
God,
was pretty
that
clear.
whole
Did you
speech-
sound
Silent
based to
L
you?
plus ratio, you dickhead.
Did Mamdani sound based to you? He sure sound based to me.
He sure did.
The whole speech was literally all about working people. And yes, it's the right thing to do to protect working people. Call out the enemies. Call out the fucking billionaires. Yes, they've rigged the system. They're screwing over people. But no, it's you got to hold hands and sing Kumbaya with like billionaire assholes in order for Van
no,
Jones
I never
to go,
will. How
I
about
like
that?
That was inclusive.
Her voice on stage. That said, he's very young, and he just pulled off something very, very difficult. And I wouldn't write him off.
Jones, your opinions are as less worth. I mean, is worth less than a Magic Carp using Splash. How's that make you sound?
But I think he missed an opportunity to open himself up tonight, and I think that will probably cost him going forward.
Retire, you bitch. Fucking retire. By the way, you want to know the real reason why Van Jones is doing this? Van Jones is a fucking Israel shill. And Zohran Mamdani calls out the genocide done by Israel.
No genocide
and fights for
lovers in the
Palestinian
Democrat
rights.
Party. How
That's
about
why
that
he's doing
one?
this. Remember it came out, he was part of
Expel
some,
all
like,
of you,
fucking
arrest you,
program
put you
or
all in
some
front of
shit.
the Hague
You guys
and
see that?
jail you all.
Like, Van Jones was getting paid
forget
directly by
Nazi
the Israel
Yahoo.
lobby, and that came out. And he also he just made a joke about
Yahoos,
dead
once he gets
Palestinian
convicted,
babies.
just gets publicly executed,
dead
along with
babies
every single
in
Zion
Gaza.
and all the
Made it
Zion
on
Nazi terrorists in the
Real Time with
West
Bill
Bank
Maher.
get
And he's gonna-
rounded up and
We
massacred
don't need
without
your fucking
trial.
analysis on what you think of Zohran's speech. He should be critiquing your dumbass. Fucking retire. Who is this for? Who is this for?
Losers, Kyle. That's who.
watches
Losers.
this fucking slop
Losers.
that they're feeding.
Who wants
And by the
to
way, we're gonna have a
losers
similar
who love
problem
losing.
with Zohran,
And deep
as we
down, they
did with
wanna
Bernie
call
for a
him
long
an
time. How there was like
Islamophobic
no
slur.
pro-Bernie Sanders voices in the
Yep.
media, even when he was running for president. Like with Zohran, you're already seeing it. Van Jones is nominally supposed to be a liberal or a leftist. And then he's up there like, I don't know, I don't like that tone. Like, what the fuck is
Shut
that?
up, Van
What is
Jones,
this?
you suck
Nobody
ass.
cares what your thoughts are on the shit. But I got another awesome crash out. This is, I believe this is a Republican who voted for Cuomo, thinking,
I think I know
have
which
no
one this
choice with
is.
Sliwa, so I'm going to vote for Cuomo. Listen to what he says when it became very clear that Cuomo was about to get his fucking cheeks clapped.
Curtis? I'll send it to him because he yelled at me today.
Hey, Curtis, you're a fucking scumbag, like I said all along, all of these months. You fucking got 8% of the vote. You
He's
split
a
the
better
fucking
person
vote
than
for the
Cuomo
$7
is.
fucking million.
Well, he may
You're a
have some
scumbag.
terrible,
I hope every
he
New
may
Yorker
not have the
spits in
best
your fucking
opinions.
face every
He's got a
single
lot
day.
better, he's a lot better in the, department of being a decent person than you will ever be, scum.
And also, here's the fact. Even if Silva did drop out, Mamdani still would have won. He had more votes over on both Cuomo and him combined, dipshit. So you can't even blame him. Also, how about you guys drop out and help Suila instead? Since he was your candidate, unlike Cuomo, dumbass.
Judas sold out fucking Jesus.
Oh my god. He just compared Andrew Cuomo to Jesus.
30 fucking points.
How sad do you have to be to think Cuomo is like Jesus? Unless you want to say he's a sexual predator, then ooh boy.
So, go fuck yourself.
Oh my god.
You go
I regret
fuck
to inform you
yourself.
that this guy could easily have been a member of my family. That is the most New York Italian Republican man of all time.
Careful, Kyle. Cuomo said Italians can't control themselves, remember?
Real shame, bro. I mean, we're working on it over here, but if you are a New Yorker and you have some Italian heritage, all you motherfuckers got to go left, dog. All you motherfuckers. I'm holding down the fort.
Or do you want
to
to admit that
from Italian background?
Or do you want to agree with
lefties.
Cuomo that you're all
what is
sexual
this shit?
predators?
Like, what is this? Oh my god, so embarrassing. So fucking embarrassing. But there you have it. Multiple crash outs, and the crash outs are only going to get worse as time goes by. Actually, what's going to happen is the
every
crash
moment
outs
y'all
already happened.
crashing out.
Then
It's
they're
beautiful.
going to flip into denial mode. So they'll get their like few talking
I
points ready.
can't
and
wait
then it
till
will be
January
like, all the
1st.
MAGA
Can't come
Republicans will be
fast
out
enough
there
to
like,
see
well,
Mamdani become
actually,
mayor.
the night wasn't that bad because of reasons X, Y, and Z. And it's like, sure, keep telling yourself that if it helps you sleep at night. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like.
What a beautiful amount of cope that was. So we gotta say about conservatives and neoliberals raging mauled and mad that Mamdani won and that they're all mad about it.
It's awesome. It is absolutely awesome.
Keep mauling. January 1st cannot come fast enough for Mayor Mamdani. So now, on to the next topic.
Let me... Zohran Mamdani bans HASAN PIKER.
Oh, this is so base. And of course, Dylan Burns, the only one who covered it. So of course, we all know piece of shit HASAN PIKER, the fucking piece of shit loser that he always will be. He tried to go to a Mamdani event after he won, and Mamdani, being the based person he is, he got him bad. Don't that sound hilarious or what?
That's actually pretty fucking awesome.
Because HASAN PIKER sucks ass, people, and he needs to be kicked out of the progressive movement. Yeah. So let's watch PIKER raging mad.
So we just had a massive blue wave for Democrats in the country. But all of
I don't know about that, Dylan. Let's wait till next year before we can say that.
In a single moment, when Mamdani was informed of the late great Dick Cheney's passing. When he was asked, as he's about to
Dick
cast
Cheney
his vote,
died recently too. I think he died on the election day too last week.
2 days ago. Whether or not he had heard of his passing, and you could see on his face, it's like somebody had just smacked him. He thinks of what he says, and he avoids the fumble, the worst fumble, at the not a 1 yard line. This is half a foot. This is a half a foot till the end zone, and he decides to say nothing. Smartest decision of his life.
And honestly, yeah, during this important time, it's important not to just say anything about Cheney's death.
Just earlier this morning.
It's good. It's very good.
It was.
Yep, he just didn't say anything, which made sense.
2 to 3 seconds. Immediately realizes there's no victory. There's no
man,
talking about
Progress
this.
had a meltdown by him not saying anything. Like, guy, he's trying to win. He's trying to appeal normal to people. Regardless of how we feel about Cheney, people are not gonna like advocating or celebrating his death or anything. You saw what happened with Kirk recently, remember? So he's trying to be cool and all that, and I don't blame him.
To talk about Dick Cheney.
I would probably do the same thing.
While he's voting actively to just put some more sting on it, and he decides to just keep his head down smartly.
Yep.
I gotta say,
Mamdani being very smart. You love seeing it.
And intelligent. He's very
unless you're HASAN, of course, who doesn't like smart things.
He's very intelligent.
An idiot.
He knows how to engage during interviews.
And a little nepo baby.
Come off very authentically.
Fucking
he,
Turkish line stroll.
With a media campaign that could crack, with a good team around him, and he knows how to, since coming into the public spotlight and the type of things he said before, in spite of the types of things he said before, has been able to avoid a controversy relatively well, considering what was already out there on him. And anytime somebody gives him an ability to mess up, he says no. He says no. And I think one example of this would have to be he is not going to associate with anybody that does more damage to him and his campaign and his movement than they could bring into it. One example of that being a popular streamer, HASAN PIKER.
I hate that name.
At the Mamdani party, you know, the party by which, hey, let's go celebrate who won, etc., etc. But he was not invited upstairs to where, you know, I guess you can see the
Stay mad.
And I love it. Be boxed out. This is
that's what you get for sucking ass, Piker.
Condemned on the debate stage by
that's what you get for being a boss, for being an idiot.
Hey, you know,
just hating existence.
Hey, you know what, Hasan? There's someone who would like to meet you. His name is Dylan Burns, and some Ukrainians. They've been wanting to see you for a couple of years now. Remember? Are you gonna finally talk to them for once, or are you gonna chicken out again?
He's gonna chicken out, of course.
And apparently he's on a and of course I heard he's on some bullshit pro-China rant recently. Fucking moron.
And while running
him and people like him, they don't want a multipolar world. They want a unipolar world under China.
And Russia too, after they take over Ukraine, remember?
Ukraine, Moldova, and Georgia.
Man, Hasan, why do you hate all these countries? What did they do to you?
Oh. Yeah,
because he thinks that they were all invaded and taken over by the Nazi American terrorist organization.
Why do I get the feeling that this is some sort of like Ottoman revisionism too? Because remember, the Ottomans used to control those areas too.
Yeah.
This type of dialogue and the way he talked around the war in Gaza got him boxed out of the DNC.
Basically had the Black Sea at one point completely surrounded.
Man, and Hasan would be so stupid he wouldn't even know what any of that means, which is even more hilarious.
And the way he talked about
imagine not knowing your history. Unlike some
He's
of
a fucktard. That much we know.
And he got banned, which is beautiful.
Let's show this.
Let's lessen him rage.
Refusal of entry.
I do not have you for the upstairs list.
Okay.
Can I see your ticket type?
Oh, I'm staff.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. If you're
so we can't go upstairs.
That's right. Stay mad.
I do not. But do you have this wristband? I can also just check in the chat.
Well, so I thought normal builders could go upstairs, no?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Draft out, Hasan.
On my end.
More seating area.
You know you want to.
Drink. I'm good.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Don't let them you ass on the way out.
Oh, so beautiful.
Some people might say Hasan PIKER, he brings
yes,
a lot of viewers,
love
he brings
it.
a lot of people who might canvass in order to hang around with him. He can bring an audience
He's
that comes with him. That is true.
He's a toxic
but you're also
douche,
running
bro.
in New York. You're not running in Portland. You're not running in Seattle. You're running in New York. And Hasan PIKER said that America deserved 9/11. Now, considering that
remember when we
New
covered
York is
that?
full of 9/11 victims, and you know people who remember that.
Told you that would come back to
and
bite
you're
you,
running as
Hasan,
the
years
first
ago, and we were
openly
right again.
Muslim candidate.
And it's glorious.
To, actually achieve the mayorship.
Maybe
in
next
New York,
time think before you speak.
Which was
How about that
ground zero
one?
for the biggest Islamic
Oh, that's right. You're too
terror
stupid to
attack
think.
in American history. Him associating himself with somebody saying that is just giving Andrew Cuomo ammunition he could have used to undermine him.
Yeah, I can already see it now. Because, guys, Zohran has dealt with not severe Islamophobia for months now. And he's already been accused of causing 9/11 and all that. He does not need to have actual ammo against him from PIKER when he said America deserved 9/11. It's too damaging. He knows it, and thankfully Zohran is smart enough to realize that. Thank God.
Distancing himself from him on the debate stage.
He has
him distancing himself.
He
from
knows
him after
stuff
taking a picture
unlike
with
PIKER.
him,
If it isn't
him
obvious.
being denied entry to the party upstairs.
Because Zoran's not a
I think it
moron
makes
like
sense,
PIKER is.
Even if you were to isolate the factor purely and solely
And he can connect with the people, which is something Hasan can't do.
Element of the election.
Seriously,
But
why is HASAN the biggest progressive online? Why is he? He sucks. There's nothing good about him. I've never liked him. Can we please get rid of him already, please?
It's not just that. It's
Can we?
also
Can us
Hassan
replace him
played
instead?
fast and loose with some of the things he said. And while on the floor, shortly after embracing Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, one of the most famous American socialists in the country.
Oh God! I watched the video. Oh my God! Did you see this video that Dylan covered? Because you're not gonna believe the stupid thing HASAN said. I just remembered. Oh my God!
He said,
"Get
that
ready,
the
this is
fall
really
of the
stupid."
Soviet Union was bad. That it was unfortunate that the Soviet Union lost the Cold War. That the United States.
He said it sucks that the Soviet Union lost the Cold War.
Oh wow! Fucking idiot!
Listen.
Yeah, I think we are in the heart of the imperial core. This is the country that defeated the USSR, unfortunately.
Piker, I'm pretty sure the Soviet Union defeated themselves. How about that one?
The matter is, there's a lot of anti-Semitism. There's no class consciousness in the United States of America. It's one of the things I try to address every day with my commentary. And I will say this: the conditions have deteriorated so much that everyday Americans, in spite of their lack of class consciousness, are finally arriving at the conclusion that perhaps there is an alternative out there. There is an alternative that focuses on them as opposed to the interests of the billionaires.
Yeah, social democracy, unlike whatever the fuck you're spewing.
And the millionaires.
Yeah.
The interests of the capital owners. And, I mean, you can't help but notice that. You can't help but feel at least
I can't help noticing that you're a fucking moron. How about that one?
Look.
God, what an idiot he is.
Mamdani wants to be a
Thank God he
socialist.
banned you. He dodged a big bullet.
Not
Thank you,
a
Mamdani.
socialist.
Thank you.
He wants to be, like a universal.
Thank goodness you have a
healthcare
brain unlike
and,
HASAN.
Public transportation and strong unions and workers' right and strong regulations to protect the safety of workers and seeing that workers are properly compensated for their labor and that they have the right
You don't
to
give a
collective
fuck,
bargaining
Hassan. How about that one?
and making sure that if people want to participate in cooperative ownership, they can. Like, these are the types of things that he would want to be more associated with. Investments in, rehabilitative programs and policing instead of, there's a bunch of things that he would like to be associated with. Oh, I'm much more Denmark than Joseph Stalin. I'm much more Sweden than I am Pol Pot.
Careful,
That's
Dylan.
the pitch,
Hassan does not
is
like
that the
being
image
smart.
that Americans have of socialists, communists, the Marxist scourge which hides under us, the red menace which preys upon our nation. They have this image that was built by Cold War era propaganda and just the behavior of the Soviet Union. What they did to the Ukrainian people in mass starvation, what they did to the Kazakh people in mass
No
starvation.
one, Hassan, I wouldn't be
what they
surprised
did
if
in
that's the actual
mass
reason he likes
ethnic
the USSR,
cleansing
because they
campaigns of
genocide
Koreans and
Ukrainians.
others, the population and demographic management, the environmental damage that they did, the repression of civil liberties, the repressive of uprisings, the horrific bombing of different countries like Afghanistan or others that could be named. And so people look at that record and they look at the legacy that it left behind ideologically, and they look at the legacy that it left behind in reality when it comes to Poland, Romania, and these countries that no longer wanted to be part of the Soviet
you're
Union.
talking about
And for you to
history.
look at that
Hassan
and say,
doesn't like history,
"Woo-hoo, that's
remember?
me," that Mamdani should keep a million miles away from that. We are friendly socialists. We are Eugene Debs he's referencing during his speech. Okay? He's not referencing Vladimir Lenin. He's not referencing Joseph Stalin or Khrushchev or Brezhnev or any of these figures that would probably be best left at the chopping block when it comes to making your Americanized version of socialism. The lack of civil liberties and the differences between our countries, between our systems, and between our values made it so that if you ever wanted to make this system of values work in this country, it has to be freedom and individual liberty focused. It has to be made for the people of the United States. And so if you're spending time with people who are not only like say, oh, 9/11, we deserved it, but it's putting
You hearing this, Hassan?
attached to that.
You hearing this,
But is going
Hassan?
out
Or are
there
you
and
still gonna be
endorsing
stupid? Oh,
Soviet
that's right. We already know
Union
you're gonna be stupid.
Victory in the Cold War.
Yeah,
When the
he's a
Soviet Union
stupid
defeated
little
the United
nepo
States,
baby.
meaning the Soviet Union wouldn't have left Romania, wouldn't have left these countries. And the model,
But Hassan likes
which,
that, Dylan. He
the
likes the
Solidarity
Soviet Union
movement,
controlling
which,
everyone.
the armed chained movement.
Because they're not
and all these
America.
different movements that fought against Soviet occupation and eventually won when previous attempts like the Hungarian uprising or the German uprisings had failed. I think that this is just bad voodoo. This is bad voodoo. This is bad vibes for somebody.
It's a
trying
bad
to
look,
rebrand
which Hassan is
socialism
proud at
with a
being
friendly
fucking bad.
face. Especially since, look, I don't mean to diminish the significance of a socialist winning in the capital in the United States, New York City. I don't want to diminish that, but he ran against a Turkish-owned and widely despised mayor.
Thank you.
The groper-in-chief, Andrew Cuomo.
Yep, indeed. Thank you, Dylan, again.
Playing his
Stupid sex
harassment
pest.
away with Italianness, who was pumping out AI video after AI video, and is live.
Oh god, that horrible AI video about they did against Mamdani. Oh god, that was horrible and racist.
Not liked, and the legacy passed down to him, politics-wise, by his father, was not enough to get him in the primary. Why would it be enough to get him in the general? And then you've got the Republican Curtis Sila, because you need your election crackpot. He wasn't exactly going against Marvin Hagler and Sugar Ray Leonard and Muhammad Ali and Rocky Marciano and Willie Pep. He wasn't going against like Terrence Crawford and Usyk. He's not going against the cream of the crop. He's not going against the best of the best. He just isn't. This ain't no Triple G. Okay, he is fighting tin cans when it comes to the image that they had on election day. Andrew Cuomo 20 years ago is Andrew Cuomo 20 years ago, but the image that he had on election day was garbage. Run him against a less flawed Democratic opposition candidate. Run him against a undivided other candidate in the general. Run him in another city where the type of messaging that he puts out, this type of mini Big Tent messaging where he's going up there, oh, I'm reaching out to all the abuelas and all the Uzbek nurses and all the, where that type of messaging might not work, but the affordability might. How can that be tweaked to work in communities that don't look like his? Because a lot of people are trying to take from this national implication, and I think it should be restricted. The national implication should be focused on the idea that the issue of affordability of housing is very big, that Democrats and Americans want bigger, bolder plans, and that in the Democratic base right now, fighting against Trump is still king. And that, tying yourself to Trump in any name, in any way, whether it be Andrew Cuomo or Eric Adams, it was killers for both of their campaigns. So those are the things that should probably be taken away electorally. Whether or
Plus,
not,
being a Turkish asset and a sex pest is also a hindrance in our eyes.
His type of branding as a Democratic socialist, or
absolutely.
How about don't be a Turkish asset and a sex pest? How hard is that in the Democratic Party? That should be very simple.
His policy wonking on affordability, and that as a focus of it as an issue, he led the way on figuring that out, focusing on that, and putting that forward on the campaign trail. Where Harris talked about, oh well, maybe we can talk about a tax credit for first-time home buyers of $10,000 when trying to put forward money to get their house. But what about somebody who's a renter? What about somebody who's not getting a house? What about general housing affordability? What about something that has more universal appeal? And so that's my question also. How could you take Mamdani, take the good from the bad, and try to apply that universally outside of New York? Because just trying to run the same candidate that you ran in New York somewhere else ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. You ain't gonna get Uzbek nurses in all parts of the country, in places like Iowa or places like Montana. But if you want to get John Tester's seat back, you're gonna have to figure out somebody to run over there. And so, national implications, reel it in, outside of affordability and the boldness in policy and the fact that Trump is not necessarily a winner here. Even though we're going to have to wait until something Trumpian is more on the ballot again to really test that theory, it's still a big victory for Mamdani. and a big victory for his more pragmatic type of campaigning, based on authenticity and distancing themselves from purity testing. And pointless scandal. If someone brings more baggage than produce to the campaign,
which is nothing but science, nothing but baggage.
Yep.
Thank you, Mamdani, for banning HASAN PIKER. Thank you so much. That's so satisfying. Thank you, Dylan, for coming. Unlike other progressives, which makes me mad. But yeah, what do you guys say about PIKER getting banned from Mamdani's event? Wasn't that beautiful or what? Go fuck yourself, PIKER. Us progressives need to kick him out of the movement entirely. He sucks. He was never good. And there's way, way, way better progressives that could take his place as number one on our side. We need to find someone better immediately. Alright, that was so satisfying. So now, on to the next topic.
And that would be... Give me a moment. Ah yes, Chunk Yogurt making a dumb Karen rage.
That moment when all of a sudden Chunk Yogurt is all of a sudden the good person for once. Oh, it feels hard to say that.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah. But of course, Chank was on Piers Morgan's stupid, awful show. And he had on the wife of Stephen Miller, who's an evil piece of shit. And
an evil Nazi terrorist.
And she had such a Karen meltdown. She screamed out she's going to get Chank deported. She got so offended. Even Piers Morgan started to make fun of her. How do you make Chank and Piers Morgan look good in comparison? How is that possible, people? How? They suck. But she did somehow, and it was beautiful and hilarious. So for the third time now, let's get the laugh. Let's watch this code.
Yes.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about Piers Morgan had on
our
buddies Omar Badr and Jake Yogurt, and also had Jillian Michaels, who don't even get me started on.
Seriously, I still can't believe. How do you make Piers Morgan and Jake Yogurt look good? How? How is that possible?
Wow, what the fuck?
But you're gonna see, it's really funny.
But Stephen Miller's wife was also on this panel.
A lot of wife talk in the show today, apparently.
But yes, apparently there is a lot of wife talk, and she's launched a podcast recently, right? And now she's like trying to go on Piers Morgan. I don't know. Why does everybody want the spotlight? I don't.
Why do you want to be on Piers Morgan's show? He sucks.
You might say Kyle is hypocritical because you guys are in the spotlight or whatever. Motherfucker started this in 2012.
Exactly.
He's a dumb fuck who tries to control what everyone says.
You know what I'm saying?
What is so good about
I'm not
it?
actually looking for the spotlight. I like everything about the spotlight except the spotlight. I like getting the ideas out there and talking about the news and shit, but I don't like the fucking spotlight. These people are. She's yearning for that spotlight.
Yeah.
Because she's an attention whore.
Obviously, you and I are married and both have our own things going prior to us coming together. Like, the only reason anybody knows this woman's name is because of who her husband is.
Totally.
And that's, like, kind of pathetic and sad.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
So, anyway, they go on Piers Morgan show, and she has Stephen Miller's wife, because I'm going to refuse to call her by her actual name. Stephen Miller's wife has a total meltdown and accuses Cenk and Omar Badr of being anti-Semitic. Take a look.
Why is it that every time someone wants to criticize Mamdani, it immediately comes back to the Jews and the anti-Israel movement instead of actually talking about his viewpoints, which is that
he's not an anti-Semite, so cope, cunt.
Jews. You just said it. You always do that. We say Israel, you say Jews. We say Israel
because you guys are in-pull.
Please don't make it about Jewish Americans. And you
because you think all criticism of Israel is against Jews when it's not, stupid cunt.
Thinking about Jewish Americans. What's wrong with
stupid bitch, stupid cunt, stupid fuckstick?
State, yes or no?
Yeah. First of all, okay, so Saudi Arabia is a Muslim state, and you can criticize it all day long.
It doesn't matter if they're the only Jewish state, you dumb bitch.
All day long. There's no special protection.
Because what you're doing is you're decoding language to attack American
Jewish state or
and
a
to
Muslim
say that we
state.
should not be here and we should not be in existence, and that you would be happy for other.
Israel can exist, you dumb cunt, as a secular democrat country, and not, colonizing and genociding the Palestinians.
People like Mamdani to use it.
and of course taking over parts of Syria too.
I want Israel to be safe. Nothing of the sort. Nonsense. You're totally lying. It's very normal for a Miller to.
Will you shut up and let Cenk talk, you stupid cunt?
She can't and she won't.
From people like you, against my husband, against my family, and my children. I am raising Jewish children in this country. In which you
into this?
Why are you obsessed with Jews? You sound like Nick Cruz and Nick Fuentes.
If you're going to allow racist and bigoted attacks against one of your commentators, just for the sake that he will not
hang on.
Speaking.
Casey, to be clear,
She started crying about Piers Morgan to shut Cenk up.
Casey, to be clear,
He inserted a line that says the Miller's lie. Is that not coded language for therefore we are Jewish?
Oh my God!
Where are you standing?
God, you're so
Katie, if I can speak
again, how do you make Cenk look good? How?
Cancel him, America! Oh my God, Israel's feelings have been hurt. Why don't you work for?
Thank you, Cenk, for making fun of her. I can't believe I'm saying that.
You are a guest on my show, and I appreciate you coming on the show, and I like you
I
coming.
feel
on
weird saying that.
I think you're able to.
Are welcome to participate in these anti-Semitic attacks. That is.
Cenk is anti-Semitic.
Of course, she thinks everyone who doesn't support using nuclear weapons on Gaza is a fucking anti-Semite who wants to do a global intifada, even though they want, that's projection, they want to do a global Nakba.
That kid needs to get laid.
On CNN
This is so ridiculous. I'm sorry. I have to jump in here. Somebody criticizing you personally is not an anti-Semitic attack. If somebody says that you are lying, that is not an attack on Jews. That is an attack on you. And just stop hiding behind identity. This is all the snowflake behavior that the right is supposed to be criticizing the left for. That you're simply repeating here. Yes, Stephen Miller is a destructive force.
Hold on. So what happened to all of us, and all the pogroms were disgusting. That doesn't mean...
Why are you bringing up Ilhan Omar? Are you Islamophobic?
Right?
Yes, because that's what you have to be a Nazi terrorist.
Behavior I have ever seen. At first you're a racist, you're an anti-Semite, how dare you? And then when that's not getting the result she wants, then it's Piers, do you see this? I'm gonna have to leave if you don't kick Cenk off the panel, basically. And then when that doesn't
that sounds
work,
like some I want to speak to your manager level Karen-ness.
And Omar, then it's I'm gonna get my husband to denaturalize you. You better make sure that your citizenship application was 100% correct. Like, wow.
How much of a snowflake are you? My goodness!
Like every character of the most snowflakey, Karen, fragile, safe space liberal, like she just does a speed.
I wonder if we should look up if you call cops on blacks just walking down the street.
I've ever seen in a very short period of time.
It's the definition of being a crybaby. As she's threatening to get Cenk kicked out of the country.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm the victim.
I'm the victim.
Like, are you kidding me? Kicking somebody out of the country over, like, a disagreement on a podcast?
Oh, on a policy over Israel, over a
good luck
country.
Kicking me out, because unlike Cenk, I am a natural citizen.
Have to just smear and call them anti-Semites.
And I'm living here in Australia where they're trying to kick out, where they're trying to import Trumpism.
Ugh. Make sure you deport them, please.
We're trying to keep them out of office. We've got literal Nazis trying to form a political party now.
Hey, make fun of them. That's what really gets them mad.
A lot of Jews lead the charge fighting back against Israel that has nothing to do with anti-Semitism, etc., etc. She goes right to that. Definition of crybaby. Also, Randy Fine was on the same show with Cenk.
Oh, really?
Randy Fine did the same thing. He crashed out at one point and said, "Why don't you just call me a dirty Jew?" It's like,
man, are you guys anti-Semitic towards yourselves?
On the actual merits of the topic, maybe don't even fucking debate.
Yes, they are.
Because you're gonna come across looking like the fucking unhinged loser that you are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She also talks like him. Did you notice that?
Her cadence and everything.
Her rhythm, the way she talks is from Stephen Miller, which is like, of all the people to not copy, it's Stephen Miller.
Yeah.
And also, like, come on, you have to know that your husband is an insane fat. Like, you know your husband.
Of course she doesn't, because she's a cunt.
Insane fashion.
Yeah, she talks about how it like gets her.
You can see she's obsessed with
talking about how he's gonna destroy
what's the word? Attention. There we go.
He was fucking paraphrasing Goebbels at the Charlie Kirk speech.
Yeah.
Like this is who this guy is, and for them to play the victims, like all the
to
shit that
act
they're
like
doing.
Our criticism of Stephen Miller is because he's Jewish,
Oh my
and
God.
not because he's. A
How about I
total
didn't
fucking
even know if he was Jewish until it was just brought now? That's how little I know or care about him. All I care about his policies suck ass. Like Trump's policies suck ass.
So she knows that is not
Oh yeah,
true.
enjoy being made fun of when you're watching a Lions Commanders game, Trump.
And I appreciate Cenk immediately
Love
going
it.
around on how she tries to immediately shift from a conversation about
Maybe we should
Israel
leave
to
NFL
the
to
Jews.
fans
And
like
he's
me who know what they're
"You
talking
are
about,
the
unlike you.
And that is anti-Semitic, actually.
Yeah.
To say
Hey,
that
of course,
every
when this
Jew
episode comes up tomorrow, I'll have my Week 11 picks up, and you'll see how right I'll be.
in the world or every American Jew has to be associated with the actions of this total psycho state. But you know, her
And
like
then be mad when I
fragile,
enjoy Jets
crumbly
Patriots.
meltdown there. That is the human embodiment of what their actual administration policy is. You know, oh my God, you can't write an op-ed or else we have to arrest you. Oh my God, we can't let you in the country even if you've said anything critical of Israel. Oh my God, we have to have these speech codes at universities. We have to force students to go through some anti-Semitism re-education training before they can start. Oh my God, we have to like kick students out of school if they've done anything that we think is, you know, wrong thing on Israel. So as hysterical and insane as she is, and apparently Randy Fine was too in the segment as well, like that is reflected in the actual policy from this regime.
Trump basically validated the other day that Stephen Miller was the one responsible for kicking those South Korean workers out of the country who were building that South Korean factory.
Yeah, Hyundai plant,
Yes.
right?
So
yeah.
Trump basically validated, like, oh, I was against it, but it happened, but we're going to bring the workers back because they're supposed to be here, etc. Basically admitting it was Stephen Miller who overrode the president and said, go after these legal workers who are here. And, like, this woman's on the show, like, do you not understand that your husband is literally destroying this country? Do you not understand that?
Of course you don't care, Kyle. You know that.
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to me that, like,
She's
again,
a moron
privately,
and always
the
will be a
skeletons in her
moron.
closet, the things that her family is doing, and she's fucking yelling at Cenk for making reasonable criticisms of Israel. Meanwhile, it's because of your husband that ICE is totally unhinged, and they're doing fucking human traffickings and stuff like that. They sent all the people to the concentration camp in El Salvador.
Mm-hmm.
This is all because of your husband. Fucking remember, he told them.
Yeah,
told
well,
the
I
ICE
want to
agents,
speak to
you
your
need
manager.
To go to the Home Depots. You need to go to
exactly.
the Lowe's and the 7-Elevens, and that's where they literally
I see
were
black people
disbanding
walking
the
on the
groups that were
street.
going
Call the
after
cops.
cartels
Yep.
and the real criminals
Yep.
to go after the non-criminals.
Yeah. And
That's
now
what they.
have
That's
a
what they
total,
want, and that's what they always do.
It's not even quite fascist and Nazi enough for them. So they're
they're
bringing
bringing
in
the
the
CBP.
CBP guys.
Yep.
Who are more militarized, and they have, you know, they have drones and they
Sounds
have
like you
aircraft
two.
and whatever.
Sounds like
They're
you
the
need to
ones
get
who
laid,
led
but you're too
that
crazy to
raid
get
on
men.
the apartment building using Black Hawk helicopters, where they arrested people in the middle of the night, pulled them out, and
Nazis.
tied children and threw them in the back of U-Haul vans, and people didn't have their clothes on. And we're talking about mostly American citizens, by the way. That was CBP. That is Stephen Miller. And so to pretend like, oh, the criticism of my husband, it's because he's Jewish. Again, there's no way she believes
Oh yeah?
that.
Well, I
There's
don't
no
know
way she
he's Jewish.
actually
I'm gonna
believes
forget
that.
soon after
Yeah,
this video.
that's
How
right.
about that one?
All right, so Jan, hope you don't get deported, bro. Good luck. Omar, same.
Man, HASAN is in their sights. Mehdi.
I mean, to be fair,
Zohran,
Hassan would
they're,
be
like, taking
nice to be
official actions to
kicked
try to
out
denationalize
because he
Zohran.
sucks so bad.
Completely insane.
We're all on their radar to one extent or another, you know? I covered the Maddow thing the other day that, like, their ICE already has Pegasus spyware, and they're using it to spy on whoever they want, even citizens, you know? So, like, it's all come apart.
And just
it's
so you guys
fascism.
know,
It's here.
Pegasus, like, you don't have to, you know,
You don't have to do anything.
You don't
They
have to
could
click a
just
link or
get
anything.
in.
If they have your number and they're using Pegasus, then they can get access to everything on your phone, including the encrypted acts, things like Signal, whatever.
Which, how is that? The person who made that should be locked up, right? Like, how the fuck is that legal?
I mean, Kyle, probably every government has something like that. It's not just an
And
American
apparently
thing.
Biden made
you
it
know?
illegal, but Trump immediately was
Yeah.
like, nah, we're going to use that shit. You know, I'm being politically persecuted was like, let me fucking persecute anybody who's ever disagreed with me once.
Yeah, because they're
Yeah.
Karens.
Hey, guys.
Exactly.
So that was so satisfying. We gotta say about that. Some stupid Karen cunt.
Absolutely love it.
Wanting Cenk to pour because she's such a cunt. God, what a loser she is. All right, on to the next topic.
Give me a moment. Now we're going through to 8 Democratic senators commit treason.
So all this time laughing, now I gotta get angry for once. So of course, for like the last month and a half almost, and I think still is ongoing, the American government's been shut down and all that because Republicans suck ass and it's all their fault, and Trump too, no matter what they say. But of course, despite the fact that the Democrats won massively in the election last week, a whole bunch of them just recently folded and gave the Republicans the 60 votes needed to end the shutdown and making the whole point completely worthless. And fuck those Democrats too very much. Fuck every single one of them. So yeah, let's watch this, and now for the first time tonight, actually get mad.
Yeah.
Some people would think that this is a capitulation if you only agree to a standalone vote.
Need to understand how the Senate works.
Yes, it's treasonous. And all of you need to be, and every corporate Democrat who did this needs to be fucking arrested and jailed for treason.
The Affordable Care
primary
tax credits until
yes,
the shutdown
primary,
vote.
then kick them out, then arrest them, charge them with treason, and jail them for life.
And by the way, I think, actually, no, the Democrats that did this, I think, are the ones that are far away from have their elections coming up. The ones that actually stayed put, like Schumer, actually stayed their ground and voted against it. So good on him for once.
I guarantee on a bill that we will write. No one in the Senate chamber wants to extend the ACA tax credits more than I do.
This is the beginning to show and fight for Americans across the country. We have an opportunity also to put Republicans on the record on the ACA. Are they committed to doing this?
Those were some of the excuses from the 8 pathetic Democrats who capitulated to Republicans. But according to them, this was actually a win, and we're all just too stupid to comprehend the 4-dimensional game of chess that they're playing. But if you're mad that they caved, don't you worry, because when funding expires at the end of January, they might not support funding then if Republicans go back on their promise for a vote on the ACA subsidies in December.
They won't care. They'll just be like, we must do a nationwide abortion ban and legalize murdering women who have had abortions. We're going to also include completely abolishing Medicare, Medicaid, and SNAP, and we're also going to include building gas chambers.
Try and do that in my state, pal. And also, we know damn well they would concede on that, of course, because they're fucking pathetic.
I think everybody will consider.
Oh, I bet the Republicans are shaking in their boots at that kind of threat. Like, they just beat you in a game of chicken, but I'm sure that they expect you to hold strong the next time that there's a funding showdown, and they expect you to not capitulate like you always do every single time. And I want to be very clear about what these Democrats did. They effectively voted with Republicans to double and triple our healthcare premiums. People are going to die because of this capitulation. Because even if John Thune gives them the vote that he promised in December, which it's not going to happen, but I mean, even if it does happen, there's no guarantee that it's going to pass, which is why the shutdown was so important, because it was your leverage to get Republicans to vote affirmatively to extend the ACA subsidies that are expiring. But now they don't have to vote for shit because Democrats gave up their leverage. And to add insult to injury, Republicans didn't even agree to a vote in the House. In fact, here's what Mike Johnson said when he was asked whether or not he would allow a vote in the House if Thune struck a deal with Democrats in the Senate.
No, because we did our job and I'm not part of the negotiation. The House did its job on September 19th. I'm not promising anybody anything. I'm going to let this process play out.
In other words, it's over. They folded. They gave up their leverage, and now our healthcare costs are going to go up because of what they did. They fucked us, even though they had momentum after Tuesday's election. Trump literally admitted that the showdown was hurting Republicans more than Democrats, but what did they do? Well, they chose to throw it all away, probably because their donors told them to end the shutdown. And now nobody's going to believe that Republicans are responsible for the shutdown because the question is, well, okay, why didn't these 8 Democrats just vote 40 days ago to reopen government? Whereas if they held strong and got Republicans to buckle, then it would be, well, why didn't Republicans just vote to extend the ACA subsidies 40 days ago? But that's all out the window. And if I had to guess, I think that they were already planning to capitulate But they wanted to wait until after the election so that way their base wouldn't be too pissed off before they cast their votes. But another element to the story that is disgusting is the gaslighting that these Democrats are engaging in. The 8 Democrats who caved, they're not up for election until 2028 or 2030. One of them, I believe Jeanne Shaheen, is retiring, which is long enough for voters to forget this betrayal. And even though Chuck Schumer put out videos insisting that he was voting against this funding package, he's the one who gave them the green light behind the scenes, as journalist David Dayen reports. And Jeanne Shaheen confirmed that this was the case in an interview on Fox News.
Did you do this outside leadership, and was there a big push for you not to join the others and break the 60 threshold?
No, we kept leadership informed throughout.
In other words, Chuck Schumer knew, and he's putting on this show to obscure his role in order to avoid blowback because he's responsible. And he already got a lot of shit earlier this year when he caved, so he didn't want the backlash again. So that's why he's like putting on this whole charade and why those 8 Democrats are giving him cover. At best, Chuck Schumer failed to whip votes to stop his caucus from betraying their voters, but at worst, he orchestrated the entire fucking thing. Either way, he's culpable here. And there are reports that there were 10 Democrats who were actually planning to cave, but presumably, this is my speculation, they opted to just have 8 Democrats cave in order to minimize backlash because there are a lot of Democrats in vulnerable seats, so they want the party to not be as hated going into 2026. And while all of this is going on behind the scenes, you have Chuck Schumer out in front disingenuously pretending like he's going to continue to fight and that the fight's going to continue regardless of how things come out. Like, I want to show you this video where he's talking about, oh, well, if this happens, we're going to continue to fight, even though he knew that this was the way that the vote was going to go. Just watch this disingenuous bullshit. It's just so infuriating to me.
However this vote turns out, this fight will and must continue. Democrats must fight because of millions of families will lose health care coverage. We must fight because children who are dying of cancer will not get health care coverage. We must fight because a senior citizen cannot afford
You're not going to be fighting because a lot of you people are evil.
We must fight to keep millions.
Because you're all MAGA and you need those 8 are MAGA and you need to die.
You know, the fact that he had to read what a staffer wrote for him on a piece of paper instead of just speaking from the heart really demonstrates how much he cares about us losing our health care, right? Listen, obviously, he doesn't give a shit about us. He doesn't give a shit about Americans who are going to die because they're going to lose their health care. And if he did care, he wouldn't have let the 8 Democrats that voted to betray us. And this is like, what, the 1,000th fucking betrayal in the last few years? But at least his donors are going to be satisfied with the outcome, right? We might lose health care. People might have their premiums double and triple. People might die if they lose their health care, but at least the donors are going to be satisfied, right? Because that's what Chuck Schumer cares about at the end of the day. That is all these people care about. But the silver lining is that Chuck Schumer may have just put the final nail in the coffin of his career because this is the second time in the same year he bent over and spread his ass cheeks for Republicans. And voters are starting to realize that nothing is going to change so long as leadership remains in place. And people are so fucking pissed off that now they're starting to speak out. All 8 of the Democrats are getting ratioed and ripped to shreds on Twitter, and some of their colleagues in the House are also outraged, seeing as how this capitulation reflects poorly on the entire party. Axios reports that everyone is furious, from elected Democrats on the left and center to Democratic-adjacent organizations like Move On. Becca Balint of Vermont said it was BS and says people need health care, damn it, not some lame promise about a mythical future vote. They continue, people are furious, a centrist House Democrat speaking on the condition of anonymity to share details of internal discussions told Axios. It's an awful deal and a total failure to use leverage for anything real. Another Democrat told Axios there is near universal frustration and that everyone seems to be united that we should be opposed and that this isn't a good deal. So there's near universal condemnation within the party, and just to demonstrate how badly these 8 Democrats fucked up, even Ezra Klein, and get this, Matt Iglesias condemned them for caving to Republicans. Do you know how badly Democrats have to screw up to be condemned by Matt Iglesias? To show you what I mean, he tweeted, I was sympathetic ex ante to the view that Senate Dems were being pushed by an angry base into a tactically unwise course of action. But in fact, it's worked just fine, and both the polling and election results confirm that. Bizarre to give up now for peanuts. Yeah, so needless to say, when the party is even disappointing Matt fucking Iglesias, they're in pretty bad shape. But to say that they're getting peanuts would be too generous, because they're getting jack fucking shit. And I think that The Onion put it best. Democrats sick of being blamed for cowardice on issues they actually just don't care about. Another one, Chuck Schumer helps pull Democrats back from brink of courage. You know things are bad when a satirical news outlet does a better job at accurately portraying the situation than any mainstream outlet could. But here's the thing. There's always going to be a rotating villain in a party that is effectively controlled opposition for all intents and purposes. If it's not Joe Lieberman, then it's Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema. If it's not them, then it's John Fetterman and Jeanne Shaheen. There's always going to be somebody that they present us with as scapegoats, so that way we direct our anger towards them and think about the Democratic Party's numerous failures as individualistic as opposed to systemic, when it is indeed systemic. It is nothing more than political theater, what we're seeing. And this is probably the most explicit example of that I've ever seen. But make no mistake about it. Almost every single Democrat is to blame here. Some more than others, yes, but all of them are to blame because they are collectively protecting leadership from accountability when they should be throwing them to the fucking wolves. Case in point.
Do you support Chuck Schumer to lead Senate Democrats going forward?
So, Chris, again, we found ourselves in a situation I don't think the Senate has found itself in before.
I will note, Senator, that given two opportunities, you did not voice your unequivocal support for Chuck Schumer, but his job, at least for the moment, is not over. If this compromise plan does lead to the government...
I will say Chuck Schumer and the leadership of the Senate are dealing with an incredibly complex situation.
Now, if you look online, people are reacting to that clip positively, and they're viewing Mark Kelly's refusal to endorse Schumer's leadership as significant. But personally, I regard it as cowardice and spinelessness, because he is not saying what he should be explicitly saying, but he's not alone, because even Bernie Sanders, like others, are blaming the 8 Democrats, which they should do, of course, but he's not naming Chuck Schumer or calling out leadership's failures altogether that got us to this point. And even though Hakeem Jeffries kept his caucus together, he's still defending Chuck Schumer and agreed that he's an effective leader that should keep his job. And even though that's objectively untrue, Hakeem Jeffries knows that he needs to defend Chuck Schumer, because if Schumer falls, then he knows he's next. But yes, nothing is going to ever change if leadership remains in place. But the dam is actually starting to crack, because Ro Khanna, to my knowledge, became the first sitting Democrat to explicitly call on Schumer to be replaced. Mark Pocan essentially...
This will suck in 2028 if she can't be president and all that, but hey, AOC, you poll very well against Schumer. How about you run against him in the Senate?
Yeah.
Replace him. Wouldn't that be based?
Did the same thing while not naming Schumer explicitly. So Democrats are starting to dip their toes in the water to see how calling on leadership to resign feels. But it's our job to kick their...
But man, Bernie probably won't run. Walz won't run. AOC hopefully would run for Senate instead. That means we would have no progressive at the moment to run in 2020, which would really suck.
Their asses in the fucking water and force them to call out leadership and put pressure on them to resign. See, if we pressure Schumer himself to resign, that's not going to work, because he doesn't care what we think. He's proved time and time again that he's not going to heed our calls for him to resign. The last time he buckled, he was going on a book tour as if everything was copacetic after he just fucked us over. He doesn't care. So that's why I'm asking all of you who have Democratic senators to call on them and politely demand that they ask Chuck Schumer to resign. If you have one of the 8 Democrats who betrayed us, then call on them and let them know that they disappointed you. But if you have a different Democratic Party senator who didn't betray you but hasn't called on Chuck Schumer to resign, because all of them, I'm going to put a link under the like button to a directory that'll give you the phone numbers of your U.S. senators. My senators are Ron Wyden and Jeff Merkley, and I'm going to call them to initiate what I'm calling Operation Oust Schumer, because we cannot let this stand. If there is no accountability for what just happened, then nothing is ever going to change. And it's not like getting rid of leadership is going to solve all of the Democratic Party's problems, but accountability is the
a way
first
to
step.
get Republicans on side to oust him as well.
You would think they would want that, but for some reason they always don't want to get rid of terrible Democrats.
Yes, because they recognize that Schumer's MAGA is on their side. So
to actually course correcting. So the first one I'm going to call on camera is Ron Wyden. His number is 202-224-5242. And please do not call my senators, call your senators, because we need all of them to know that we are done with leadership. This was the final straw.
Sorry, Mike, I don't really have interest in doing this, even if I agree with you all. Not really a talkative person much. I got too much shit like working to deal with. So I'll let you guys deal with it for me instead.
Okay, let me try Merkley. I don't know why it's not going through. I'll get another number for Wyden in a second.
Well, we only have one topic left, so that'll be GOP Civil War getting hotter.
It'll be nice to laugh again in a moment.
Yes.
And you know what's even more funny? I spent this whole entire episode playing Pokemon Diamond on my tablet and have done more productive things than Republicans have done in this whole entire episode. How sad is that?
That is very sad.
Also, Candace was a fighting user.
Hi, this is a constituent of Senator Merkley. I just wanted to call and request that he become the first senator to call on Chuck Schumer to resign.
I've got a note of that now. Was there anything else you wanted to add?
Yeah, while I'm at it, if he could sign on to Senator Chris Van Hollen's legislation to do an arms embargo on the UAE for funding the RSF, which is committing genocide in Sudan, that would also be really great as well.
Okay, I'll make a note of that one.
Thank you.
Well,
And
thank you for calling in today.
yeah, thank you so much. And please tell the senator that I'm pleased that he's one of the best senators in the country. But I think that it would be
And by the
awesome
way,
if he got the ball
guess
rolling
what
on
state
getting
he's
rid
from?
of leadership that is just not getting it done, to put it
How
mildly.
did you know that?
I hear you.
Just about a guess.
I told you Marylanders are based. When
You
are
too,
y'all
thank
gonna
you so
learn
much.
that and keep being jealous?
Okay, so I'm going to call Ron Wyden's Portland office. 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to get an answering machine. But, you know, sometimes you get to talk to a person and just be polite because they're not responsible. They work for shitty, corrupt senators. So be polite, but, you know, don't be afraid to tell them how you feel.
There we go. She's been sworn in. Arizona's Adelta Grijalva has been officially sworn in. They've got the 218 needed to force a vote on the Epstein files.
Trump will not be very happy about that, which will be very based. Yay! 'Cause
Yeah.
remember, he's a pedo, you stupid fucks that voted for him. So stay mad.
A detailed message including your name, your phone number, and your email. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. We appreciate your patience, and we look forward to speaking to you.
Maybe Trump should be like, relax, guy.
Hi, Senator Ron Wyden. I am Mike Figueredo, a constituent of yours from Portland. And first of all, I want to thank you for not caving like the other 8 Democrats, but I wanted to call on you to request that Chuck Schumer resign. I was hoping that you would make this a public announcement because we need to get the ball rolling on new leadership, because if we don't, I don't think anything is going to change, and we are going to continue to get rolled by Republicans. And now that I have you, I would also like for you to stop sending weapons to Israel, who is committing a genocide on the Palestinian people, and stop taking AIPAC money in 2025. There's no reason why you should be still supporting them. On top of that, support Medicare for all, because if we had a universal single-payer healthcare system that was free at the point of service, we wouldn't be in this predicament in the first place. And you've never supported Medicare for all. And if you don't actually start changing for the better, I might have to think seriously about voting for a primary opponent next time you're up for election. So let's get the ball rolling. Let's get Schumer out. Otherwise, nothing is going to change. Thank you so much for your consideration. All right, so you know what to do. Call your senators and let them know that this is not okay. They must request that Senator Schumer resign. This is Operation Oust Chuck Schumer, and it starts with us. He's not going to go down if we call his office, but, you know, if you call your senator and let them know you're not happy, then that's how maybe we give them a nudge in the right direction. So make those calls.
So yeah, fuck those Democrats that helped do this. Absolutely unacceptable. So yeah, fuck you all to the nth degree. Alright, now with that out of the way, can we get back to laughing, please?
Yes, we can get on to the last topic, which is continued heating up of the GOP war. Love it!
Yep. as Fuentes, Benny Boy, and all of them are violently raging like the maniacs they always are. Also, I found out Vulcaner is a water type in my diamond game now.
Interesting. That makes sense considering that rain powers up, the rain helps thunder,
So yeah, now that I got his type figure, I can work on my team. But of course, let's get back to watching another round of the GOP Civil War, and I love every moment of it.
All right, guys, we have got to talk about this Republican Civil War, because if I'm being honest with you, it just went absolutely nuclear. It just went atomic. As you all know, Tucker Carlson had Nick Fuentes on his show. That was sort of the genesis of Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro reacting to this. And Mark Levin decided to go right for the jugular of Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes, who he calls Little Adolf. And Ben Shapiro did the exact same thing. He did a 40-minute video going after Tucker directly and going after Nick Fuentes directly, and basically saying, like, asserting, your flavor and variety of conservatism is evil and bad and wrong. It's basically Nazi shit. My brand of conservatism is old school, traditional, principled conservatism. I'm right, you're wrong. And so it was an attempt to take these people down. And look, Ben Shapiro's video, a lot of it was, if I'm being honest with you, correct. Like, he played a lot of clips of Nick Fuentes that are just absolutely, I mean, there's no words for them. It's just despicable and disgusting and wrong and disturbing even. Because it's clips of him saying, like, how much he admires Hitler and that Hitler was really cool. And it's clips of him doing straight-up Holocaust denial. And it's clips of him talking about how we need to have Catholic Taliban rule in this country and women should have no rights whatsoever and we should go back to the Middle Ages. And it's clips that we've played on this show. You know, I play that clip all the time. Funny enough, Ben Shapiro didn't play this one, but it was a clip of Nick Fuentes saying, I hate the poor and I love the rich. That happens to be a sentiment Shapiro agrees with. It's a common conservative sentiment. So we didn't play that clip, but that's Nick Fuentes when he was more mask off. These days he tries to reel it in a little bit, and he literally tells his audience to hide their power level. But back then he would tell the truth more about what he actually believes, and he is a fucking Nazi. So a lot of the video from Shapiro was just correct. Now, having said that, that's not even Shapiro's real issue with Tucker and Fuentes. His real issue with them is they're anti-Israel.
They're not pro-using nuclear weapons on Palestine.
When Candace was flirting with Nazism,
no, they're pro-using on
she
Jews.
was still welcomed on the Daily Wire. They only got the boot when she started
they're pro-using it on Ben Shapiro.
And so that's the actual breakdown here. That's the actual, like, operative factor in what Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro were doing. They're going, these guys are anti-Israel. We want to make sure young Republicans are pro-Israel. So they're trying desperately to, like, wrestle the narrative back from them and to, like, recapture the heart of young Republicans. Because if young Republicans stay anti-Israel and get more anti-Israel, then Israel in the long run is cooked. They will stop getting any support from America. No more money, no more weapons. Because Democratic voters, all of them are anti-Israel at this point, virtually. And older Republicans are pro-Israel, but when they die off, the young Republicans right now are like 55% anti-Israel. So to them, it's like existential from the perspective of being pro-Israel. So having said that, now let me walk you through some of this. So they did a New York Times article on Fuentes, which, by the way, let me just say again, it is astonishing to me how often far-right figures get like glossy profiles, whereas like actual left-wing figures, like HASAN did have a profile to be fair, but it was in like the arts section or some shit, right? Fuentes, it isn't in the art section. So it's kind of weird how left-wing figures never get this sort of like glossy, glowing profile. But like Richard Spencer got one back in the day when he was the head of the alt-right. And Nick Fuentes got one now. And they literally use like the best picture ever taken of Nick Fuentes here. This is like the best picture I've ever seen of Nick Fuentes. And this is what they use. This is like some low-key psychological warfare shit where people look at this and just based off the fact that he looks cool, they're going to go, oh, he's cool. Right?
There's nothing to like about him. He
really
sucks
weird,
ass.
really fucking
How dumb you have to
scummy,
be liking my picture.
But in this piece, it's kind of crazy because they admit that somebody who knows, somebody who's an insider, says that 30 to 40% of young Republican DC staffers, the ones that are 30 and under, they're groypers. So like 30 to 40% are groypers. They follow a fucking Nazi. And it's not like the rest of them are anti-groyper. They're just more likely to sugarcoat their shit and say, we're defending heritage Americans, as opposed to just saying we're defending white Americans. So, like, there's a literal fucking Nazi problem in the Republican Party. You understand? Like, it's just clear as day. The other day, Shapiro recorded that 40-minute video trying to take down Tucker, trying to take down Fuentes, and then he tweeted, no to the groypers, no to cowards like Tucker Carlson who normalize their trash, no to those who champion them, no to demoralization, no to bigotry, anti-meritocratic and anti-meritocratic horseshit. And he went on. And then Fuentes chimes in, no to Ben Shapiro, no to the neocons, no to dual citizens, no to Benjamin Netanyahu, no to cancel culture, no to genocide and ethnic cleansing, no to the Christ-hating Talmud, no to greater Israel, no to our Jewish oligarchy. America first, America forever.
Anti-Semitic
and so
much?
as Will Stancil says here, hey, maybe now that we've reached the point that a neo-Nazi saying no to our Jewish oligarchy goes explosively viral on this website, the mainstream media can talk about how Elon Musk has turned this place into a Nazi radicalization hub. Yeah, that's exactly right. And look, as I said in my previous segment on this, what you guys need to understand, if you're a left-winger, as most of you are and you're watching this, what you need to understand is you don't have to pick a side, because both sides are evil and both sides are bad and both sides are wrong and both sides are immoral, just in different ways. So you have Shapiro and Levin are correct that Hitler was bad and wrong. But they also support modern-day Hitler, Benjamin Netanyahu. Right?
Yep.
Whereas
Bibi Hitler Yahoo
is correct to say Netanyahu is bad and wrong, but he's wrong to admire Hitler and like Hitler and support Hitler. So it's like your options are the old school GOP, which supports the new genocide, or the new school GOP, which supports the old genocide, Hitler's genocide. So it's like both sides are pro-genocide just in different ways. They both support different versions of Hitler. You understand what I'm trying to say? So now let's get to Nick Fuentes basically responding to Ben Shapiro and just absolutely going ham. Let's watch.
And then we'll talk about Ben Shapiro's video about me this afternoon. And if you know anything about my feud with Ben Shapiro, it's really interesting the way they operate, the way that Ben Shapiro operates. If you know anything about this feud, you know what I'm talking about. For the last 10 years, Ben Shapiro has pretended like I don't exist. Nick Fuentes, who? Even if you ask him directly about me, he won't utter my name. It's like my name itself is a curse. It's like the words Nick Fuentes are not able to be spoken aloud. That's how he is. He literally will not say my name. But today, it was a clip show. Today, it was like a full-fledged Fuentes Updates clip show. It was like America's Funniest Videos. One clip after the other. 40 minutes, no ads. That's how you know they mean business. When Ben Shapiro turns down the money from the advertisers, when Ben Shapiro doesn't do, let's say, 50 ad reads in a 50-minute video, that's how you know they mean business. He will literally do an ad read at a pro-life march. In person, he will give a speech in real life at a pro-life march about abortion, and he will stop and do an ad read for ZipRecruiter. But when you're talking about anti-Semitism, there's simply no time. There's no time, we mean business, because this is something we really care about. No ads, 40-minute video, and about 50% of it was just my clips. Fuentes this, Fuentes that, he's a Nazi, sexist, Holocaust denier. Whoa, you're sounding like, you're giving me like Bill Maher or Rachel Maddow. What is this?
This is going to be catnip to right-wingers, and they're going to fucking eat this up, and they're going to love this. He's doing the like, I'm more of a pure right-winger than you, and you actually, turns out, you're kind of a lefty and a liberal because you tried to cancel me.
Calling Benny
so the right-winger's going to eat it up.
Oh my
but at the same
God.
time, this is also just total fucking horseshit. Because, yeah, if you're pro-Hitler, that's going to be on the pale. Right? Like, there's literal video of him saying, I love Hitler, and Hitler's really fucking cool. So, like, yeah, playing that clip and pointing at it and going, this is bad, you could call that an attempt to cancel you, but he did make clear in that video he's not trying to deplatform you. He's just trying to expose what your beliefs are, but in your own words. So, like, this is sort of a weak-ass bullshit reaction, but it's only a weak-ass bullshit reaction if you're thinking rationally and logically. And the right-wingers are not going to see this rationally and logically. They're just going to think, oh, an epic burn, bro. He just said he was like Rachel Maddow and that he's, like, canceling, like, a SJW, bro. So, Shapiro, it's sort of like the chickens are coming home to roost to Shapiro because all these bullshit arguments that he used on other people, now they're coming back to bite him in the ass. It's the same arguments that he used.
The leopards are finally starting to eat Ben Shapiro's face.
And now they're coming back to bite him in
And
the
he's
ass.
getting off to it.
I mean, he really helped make this bed. Now he's going to fucking sleep in it. Because Shapiro wanted to create a Republican Party that's like hateful against brown people, hateful against black people, hateful against women, hateful against gays and trans people. But he wanted to like carve out, like, but do not be hateful against Jews. But if you're pointing in the direction of hate and you're cherry picking, eventually somebody's going to come along and say, I'm not going to cherry pick. I'm going to hate equally across the board, all these different groups. And so it's kind of crazy now to like swoop in and pretend like, oh, this is hateful. Like, yeah, and your whole career is based on that. They just took it one step further. They just added one extra group to the hate.
Shapiro was against SJWs. Now he sounds like one of them. I thought he was against liberal tears and cancel culture and safe spaces. Now you sound like one of them. So first Nick went to said a sexist thing, then he said a racist thing, then he said a Nazi thing and an anti-Semitic thing. He's a white supremacist. It's Hillary Clinton. Racist, sexist, homophobic. It's literally the basket of deplorables clip. And so we'll go through, we'll talk about his little response. And I say little because he doesn't get views anymore. It's pathetic. Candace Owens is doing 10 times. What does she get? 2-3 million views on a video? He's lucky to crack 500,000. And he's on YouTube.
He doesn't even crack 500,000 with most of his videos. He's less than 100K these days.
Dude, he's got millions of subscribers.
So as you can tell, you can already tell from the vibe of this, this is not going to go well for Shapiro. It's just not. But by the way, again, I want to reiterate, Shapiro was correct that Fuentes is saying over the top, racist, sexist, bigoted, xenophobic, homophobic, anti-Semitic things. But and Fuentes is kind of deflecting here. But bro, just own it. Just be like, yeah, we are those things and we support those things and I'll argue in favor of those. Say that. But no, it's a little bit of a dishonest, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of Weasley to act like, oh, you just are a crazy lefty canceling me. No, actually, yes, I admire Hitler and here's why. Now all of a sudden, there is no robust defense of Hitler. Weird, why? All right, more, here we go. This is the part where he goes after Mark Levin.
I'm furious. I'm absolutely beside myself and furious. The way Mark Levin talks about this country, he should be deported. Not because you're Jewish, not because you're fat, not because you're gay, not because you're a pussy.
No, it's totally because he's Jewish. Because remember, Fuentes is a gay catboy Nazi.
He's stealing my bit here. It's kind of fucked up. I talked about how Randy Fine should be deported. I've talked about how these right-wing pricks should be deported. Why are you stealing my bit, bro?
The way he says, it's only off the table if we say so. Who the fuck do you think you are? You whiny, grating, odious, disgusting, fat piece of shit traitor. Where do you get off? Damn you. And I apologize for that. As a Christian, we shouldn't curse people, but...
Absolutely love it.
Come on. What are you doing?
Damn you. How dare you say that? This is the United States of America. He says, little Adolf, who are his ancestors? You know who my ancestors were? Joe Cairo. Okay? When my ancestors got here, they kissed the ground when they got off the fucking boat.
Don't do this stupid, I'm more American than you. Don't do that shit. When you support Hitler, Hitler's responsible for what? 400,000 dead Americans? And now you're fucking... It's like when conservatives pretend
most of that was
they're the most patriotic, but they'll fly the fucking Confederate flag.
I think it's there's 400,000 in the Pacific front and in the European front and another 200,000 in the Pacific front against the Japanese Empire Islamic State of the 1940s.
Of the people that seceded because they were anti-America. What are you talking? Don't do that. This is the sort of bullshit I hate. This is cheap. It's cheap to just do the fucking empty posturing. It's well, I'm the most pro-America. What is that? Come on, man.
And they served in the military and they built this city. They built Chicago. And they love this country. They always have.
No, they don't. Well, we know you don't.
Country's God, Jesus Christ. They love this country. Who the fuck are you?
We don't have a fucking... This country's God? We don't have... This is a secular country. There's a separation of church and state. A majority of people happen to be Christian, but this is a secular government. Oh my God.
And why are you here? You love Israel so much, it's not purely about Israel or the Jews. Why are you still here, fatso? Why are you and Randy Fine still here? Need more money, you fucking pissant? Need more money? Need more Americans to bleed for your wars? Need more money to go and kill children?
You were just saying we want to go to war with Venezuela yesterday. Screaming at Mark Levin for being a warmonger. You're a warmonger too. You guys just want different wars. He wants to topple the regime in Iran and do regime change there. You want to topple the regime in Venezuela and do it there. What is this?
Yeah, they want to stop Venezuela. They want to kill it. They want to kill all Venezuelans.
You fucking coward.
They sink Venezuela into the ocean.
And then they try to gaslight us into thinking we're evil. We're not evil. There's a difference.
If you support Hitler, you're evil. I mean, that's...
Yep,
that should be fucking obvious.
We're self-righteous. This is not anger. This is not evil. This is righteous indignation. This is moral clarity. This is the courage of our convictions. This is righteous indignation of a righteous people. These are the just and reasonable demands of a righteous people. We want our independence. We want our sovereignty. We want a nation under God, the one that we were promised.
I don't. How about that one?
And we're done being bossed around and abused and insulted
we want secular countries.
By these sick people that hate us. Sick people that say we're going to kill 2 million people in Gaza. These sick, arrogant people that have contempt and disdain for the people that they want to exploit for their own interests. That's wrong. That attitude, those ideas, that mindset is wrong. You're wrong for having it, and you should have no influence and no power over us. So anyway, it's sick.
He's not done. He kept going. So here he challenges Ben Shapiro to a debate.
Groy Urbano 07 cent $50. Hey Ben, keep Nick Fuentes name out your mouth. You're irrelevant now. Love you, Nick, less than 3.
Well, and he should debate me. If he feels so strongly, then debate me. He won't. He knows he won't. You know he won't. I know he won't. Come and debate me then. I have 55,000 live viewers. How many live viewers do you get? He knows that if he debates me, it'll be the most watched debate in politics in 10 years. It'll be bigger than the Trump-Biden debate. It'll be the most watched debate since Trump debated Hillary Clinton.
Sure.
Yeah, right.
He knows he will lose. He knows that everyone will rally to my side, and he knows that Israel first is over. That's why he'll never do it. But the offer stands. You want to play my clips, call me out. You want to hide. I'm right here. I'm right here. I will debate you anytime, anywhere. Bring it on. You won't. You're a bitch. You would lose. You know that. Keep talking. Until then, keep talking.
Here, he decides to go after Matt Walsh. Now, Matt Walsh, of course, works for the Daily Wire, and he's been in a bit of a weird position because he is doing this whole, like, I believe in unity, I don't believe in punching inside the tent. So, like, as long as the left is your number one enemy, then I'm on your team. And then you have Ben Shapiro who's like, hey, man, sort of fuck you because now there's Nazis in here and Nazis want to kill me. So what the fuck is wrong with you? No, you got to stand up and say the Nazis are bad and wrong. And so he's caught in the middle, and now he's also going to get it from Fuentes, too. Watch.
I have just about had it with Matt Walsh. Matt, you work for this fucking guy. Whose side are you on already? Cut the shit. Matt Walsh, every day on his show, he goes on Twitter in his show and says, this is all just gossip and drama. It ain't gossip and drama. This is the war. Might not be the one you wanted, but this is the one that's going on. So Walsh wants to recuse himself from this and say, hey, man, I just care about America. Hey, fucker, it's happening in America right now. Tucker's an American, last I checked. This is going on here. We didn't make anti-Semitism the wedge issue. They did. We didn't make fighting Israel's wars the wedge issue. They did. And Walsh wants to get on Twitter and say, I just don't want to talk about it. I just want to keep taking a paycheck from the worst of the worst Shapiro. You got to pick a side, and nobody can let him get away with this. As long as you're America first, you need to be in his reply saying, no, Matt, you work for Ben Shapiro, cuck. I don't know how he looks his sons in the eyes. He's got 4 sons. How do you look them in the eyes? Ben Shapiro signs your paycheck that pays for the roof over their head. And the guy, it couldn't be more obvious that this guy holds America in disdain. He says, the existence of Israel guarantees my loyalty to America. How do you look your kids in the eyes? They make jokes about Catholics being gay. They make jokes about the Vatican being filled.
Now jokes go too far. Nick, I know what he's talking about. There was like a Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles, Ben Shapiro conversation, and in that Ben Shapiro and like Andrew Klavan or whoever made a joke about how all the Catholic priests are fucking pedophiles. But that's true. It's true, and it's also a funny joke to point it out. But all of a sudden now, Mr. I love Hitler, I admire Hitler will joke about fucking anything. Oh, you made fun of the Catholics, how dare you? What is this?
Pedophiles, you sit there and have to laugh and grin like an idiot. How do you look your sons in the eyes? How do you look them in the face at night when you tuck them in? Really? It's enough. Enough is enough. They're taking names. We need to take names as well. Not just on their side, but our side too. These cowards. They're working for the enemy, literally. We're being dispossessed of our country in more ways than one, buddy. It's not just immigration. It's not just immigration that's
like
taking our sovereignty. It's their political control, too. You don't seem to be interested in that. Why is that? It's got to stop. How can this go on? Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles, it's not funny anymore. You people are pathetic. You disgust me. You could change it. If Matt Walsh and Knowles left Daily Wire, the whole thing would come crumbling down. All it would take is courage. Or they're brainwashed. I don't know. But somebody needs to burst their bubble, and that's not an oblique reference to violence. I mean, people need to tell them we're not going to swallow that shit anymore. They need to make a move.
So now both of them are getting it from the Groypers. And like Michael Knowles was at an event the other day, and he was answering questions, and basically one of the questions was exactly what Fuentes is getting at here. Like, how could you work for the Daily Wire, basically? And he goes on this long thing about, unity and how we all need to work together if we're Republicans and the left are the real enemies and yada yada. And they're just not buying it anymore. Now here is Nick Fuentes talking about how he's got J.D. Vance in the Groyper squeeze, I believe he calls it. Watch.
He's getting squeezed. Because the Groypers are on the one hand saying, hey, listen, fat boy, we want America first. You want to run for president? We want to hear you say America first. And on the other side, he's got his donors, and they're saying they're horrible anti-Semites. You have to disavow them. You have to forcefully condemn them. Condemn Tucker. Condemn the Groypers.
Exactly.
Vance condemns the
exactly.
Groypers.
We know that he is. As I said, gay catboy Nazi. So of course he's anti-Semitic. It goes with being
move to Iowa.
No, Nazi.
And New Hampshire, and Nevada, and South Carolina, and one primary after the next. And we will go to every town hall. We will go to every meet and greet where there's 4 or 5 people, and we will be there. And we'll do it for free. People will drive there for free, and they will follow Vance around and ask him, when will you put America first? Why would you condemn the young white men of America and sell out to our elites? We'll be there. We'll be in Iowa. We'll be in every primary and caucus state. So he doesn't want to condemn the Groypers.
He's right that he's got the Republicans in a vice grip. And somebody made a good point on Twitter. They said the Groypers are to MAGA what MAGA was to the Bush Republicans. When Trump was rising in 2015 and 2016, every time they thought, oh, we got some shit that's going to take down Trump, it didn't. It made him stronger. And right now, the same thing is happening, where MAGA goes after the Groypers, and somehow the Groypers get stronger. I mean, he destroyed Ted Cruz the other day online. Now, to be fair, this all for the moment, it's all online, that the Groypers are getting W's. But the right is very plugged in, and I feel like they respond to that online pressure quickly, which is why so many of these people have fucking cowered in fear to Fuentes. I mean, that's honestly why Tucker had on Fuentes, is because he's scared of him. He's scared of his audience. He doesn't want to fucking piss them off. And so you're going to see that with politicians, too. And here he is bragging that, I got you, J.D. Vance. You can't fucking denounce us. Because we'll tank your chances of being president if you do fucking denounce us. And maybe he has 100,000 hardcore followers, but yes, 100,000 hardcore followers, some of them on the ground in Iowa and New Hampshire, fucking making your life a living hell by asking you questions at town hall events and shit and having you on the back foot, having you on the defense. That's fucking... That would suck. That would suck. And J.D. Vance is being a little bitch, and he's saying, basically, I'm not going to condemn any of these people. So just really incredible stuff. Another example of this. So Spencer Hakimian pointed this out. He said that Byron Donalds, who's a Republican running for governor of Florida, condemned anti-Semitism, and then Fuentes ratioed him literally within 1 minute. Our party has always stood for the Constitution, civil rights, free speech, freedom of religion, and limited government. We will never stand for the twisted ideology of Marxism, totalitarianism, bigotry, and anti-Semitism. We will not stand idly by as our Jewish neighbors are demonized. And you can see in the background, this was at the Republican Jewish Coalition. He gave a speech there, and Fuentes responded and said, "Good boy," and literally within a minute, ratioed him. Within a fucking minute, bro. He right now has the power in that party, and they know it. And the problem is, like I said, the entire Republican base for so long, like the crux of that party is hate. Like, it's hate, it's bigotry, it's division. It's like, scapegoating minorities and saying they're bad. And all Nick Fuentes did is he took it one minority further, all right? That's it. All he did was go one minority further. I also hate Jews. Whereas if the other Republicans are going, no, you could hate black people, you could hate brown people, you could hate women, you could hate trans people, you could hate gay people. Don't hate the Jews. And he goes, no, I'm going to go all the way. And so that's a more pure form of that politics. And it's more coherent in a sense. And so all these standard Republicans help make the bed, and now they're going to fucking sleep in it because Fuentes is on the rise. And then the final thing, as I pointed out before, really, bro... Really, the big issue and why Ben Shapiro is coming after him, again, is because of Israel. And it's the same reason why Mark Levin is doing it. They would overlook the Hitler stuff if Ben Shapiro supported Israel, because they've done it in the past. You could be, like, outright anti-Semitic like Elon Musk, But if you bend the knee to Israel, you're their ally. That's fine. So to them, the real thing that's unacceptable is being anti-Israel. So, but as I said, you do not have to fucking hand it to any of them. You don't have to do it. You don't have to hand it to any of them because you have Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin support modern-day Hitler, Benjamin Netanyahu, and Nick Fuentes supports old-school Hitler, and is against Netanyahu. So which is it? Which Republican Party flavor would you like? The one that's against the old Holocaust, or the one that's against the new? The one that's for the old Holocaust, or the one that's for the new Holocaust? But you can't have. None of the options are just anti-Holocaust. None of the options are just anti-genocide.
I mean, you could be progressive like us and be
with both options,
and be against anti-Semitism.
One
it's
step
very
further
simple.
To add Jew hatred to all the other kinds of hatred. So it truly is the implosion of the Republican Party. It truly is collapsing. And this also is only able to happen because MAGA is failing. Because prices are going up, because unemployment is going up, because Trump is bombing all these different countries. He's the most corrupt president we've ever seen, ever by far, and it's not even close. He's not releasing the Epstein files. You got all these things that have built up, and so everybody knows, everybody's pissed at Trump, everybody hates him. The country's like turning away, and so now you have people vying for the crown of MAGA, vying for what the future will be, and that's why this is all coming to a head now. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like
guys,
and subscribe.
What do you gotta say about, once again, the Republican Civil War continuing in? And I love every moment of it.
Oh, God, I love it too. Bring it on. And as I just saw in the subscriptions, Mark Levin's has decided to strike at Tucker Carlson. So, next stage in that line.
Keep fighting like skeletons in Minecraft. And again, this is all your fault. Every moment of it. And I hope you all suffer and kill yourselves and us progressives take over what's left. But anyways, guys, that's it for all the topics. So see you all next time for episode 143.